Hello, what's up? Ali here, and today we are just going to share some news regarding our PS4 jailbreak. This is coming from wololo.net, and to those who are not yet aware, wololo.net is one of the best sites to get some updates from the PS4 jailbreak. Or if you are looking for some developments for the PS4 jailbreak, this is one of the best place to gather some information because basically there are a lot of fake news or hoax coming around the internet, whether there's already a new jailbreak or a new version of jailbreak. But if it's coming from Wololo, then you can definitely make sure that it is an authentic update. I will just leave a link on our description so you can follow the website as well. So I will just read through the articles and I will provide my insights later. So PS4 jailbreak the status in 2022 for the current status. The latest and greatest PS4 jailbreak was the PUB S4 jailbreak release for the firmware 9.0 back in 2021. A lot of tools and homebrew games have been made available to jailbroken PS4 9.0 since then. Firmware 9.0 is recent enough that it's fairly easy to get an exploitable console at a reasonable price. But there's a growing number of people stuck on recent firmwares 9.03 to 9.60, wondering what's coming for them. There is no publicly known kernel exploit for firmware 9.03 and above, let alone discussions of a release. The best option for you to, if you're looking to jailbreak your PS4, is to buy a PS4 running firmware 9.0 or lower. At this point, eBay is your friend. Or if you live in the Philippines just like me, you can definitely find a lot of already jailbroken PS4 on the Facebook Marketplace. It is rare enough to be emphasized this time around. You might have better luck buying a used PS4 9.0 than trying to get a new model, as those have been out of stock for some time now. For those who are stuck with a higher firmware and for some reason cannot buy a 9.0 PS4, there are two important rules that you need to follow. First is patience. Then I will just emphasize the first rule, right? So that is a patience. Then do not update your PS4. PS3 9.0 to 9.60 jailbreak. Patience. Patience is key if you're waiting for PS4 jailbreak. As I've mentioned before, the average time between two jailbreaks is around 9 months, but it has been as low as 4 months and as high as 2 years. Without any significant news on the exploit front, nobody can really predict how long it's going to take until the next one. But since the last jailbreak was only a couple of months ago, people shouldn't be holding their breath. Basically, before a new jailbreak is released, the hackers provide some updates or some heads up. So for those who are waiting, they can actually know what are they waiting for and how long they should wait. And before 9.0 was released, there is a lot of heads up. And if you still updated your console, then that is your fault. So you should really have learned your lesson by now and do not update your PS4 and have a lot of patience. PS4 9.03 and 9.04 jailbreak status. The good news for 9.03 and 9.04 users is that we seem to have two potential user mode exploits for these firmwares. The first one, and probably most well known at this point, is the BDGB exploit, chained by the flow, which leverages vulnerabilities in the Blu-ray driver of the PS4. The other user mode exploit is the same WebKit vulnerability that was used for the 9.0 jailbreak, which is still apparently open as of firmware 9.0, according to scene veteran Zekok Xiao. So these are the statements from the developer from the hackers themselves, so you can just read them. Firmware 9.50, however, allegedly patches the WebKit vulnerability, as we already know that people who choose to update to 9.50 will potentially have a harder time exploiting their console in the future. There is no going discussion on the scene about a new kernel exploit for any firmware None of the reputable hackers has shared a hint of anything that would be kept under wraps at the moment, which doesn't mean there isn't anything happening under the hood, but certainly indicates that people should be patient. PS4 9.50 to 9.60 jailbreak status. There doesn't seem to be any working implementation of a user exploit for 9.50 or above at the moment. We know that the WebKit user mode exploit used in PS4 has been patched. As far as BDGB is concerned, it's possible a subset of the vulnerabilities are still present on firmware 9.50 and above, but the flow has been pretty clear that 9.50 patches his findings. 9.50 to 9.60 kernel exploit. Alright. On this aspect, the recent firmware 9.5 and 9.60 share the situation of 9.03 and 9.04. There is no publicly known kernel exploit for any firmware above 9.0 at the moment. Furthermore, there is no ongoing discussion on this scene about a new kernel exploit for any firmware. None of the reputable hackers has shared a hint of anything that would be kept under wraps at the moment, which doesn't mean there isn't anything happening under the hood, but certainly indicates that people should be patient. In general, the hackers collectively try to time their releases in a way that they do not feel wasteful. This often means that they will wait until a specific firmware patches the exploit before releasing the exploit. So doesn't mean that they are not providing an update that there isn't really or there is nothing happening, because most of the time they have to wait for a update first before they release their exploit, so that it won't get patched by Sony as soon as they release the update or they release the exploit. Waiting for a PS4 9.3 to 9.06 jailbreak do not update. Unless a hardware vulnerability is found on the PS4, the PS4 jailbreak world is going to remain a cat and mouse game between Sony and hackers. Kernel exploits will get patched as soon as they are released, and nowadays even before they are released, which means if you keep your PS4 up to date to the latest firmware, you're pretty much guaranteed that you'll never be able to jailbreak your console. Keeping your PS4 on as low of firmware as you can is pretty much a prerequisite if you want a jailbreak. It has several drawbacks, such as the impossibility to access any online services on the device, including playing online, but it's a choice. So this is where it really gets hard, because if you are waiting for a new jailbreak, you will be in a situation where you'll want to stay and wait for an update and sacrifice all of the features that you should be enjoying on an updated console, or just update and enjoy the benefits of an updated console. Because again, if you keep your console updated, then there isn't any chance for now for you to get a jailbroken console. So if you don't have that much of a patience, I will really suggest to just move on and just enjoy your updated console, and just enjoy the DPS and features of Sony, because there's still a lot of ways for you to get some cheap games on a updated PS4. So conclusion, PS4 9.0 jailbreak ETA when firmwares 9.03 and 9.04 are still impacted by two user mode vulnerabilities. Multiple reports suggest that 9.50 patched those. With all of the above being said, I'm not convinced people on 9.03 and 9.04 will see a jailbreak faster than people on 9.50 at this point. The rule to stay on as low of firmware as you possibly can always remains true. But I'm not sure we can say that 9.03 and 9.04 are in a more convenient situation than other firmwares at the moment. Specifically, no kernel exploit is publicly being talked about, let alone discussions of a release at the time of this writing, so the probability for a PS4 9.03 to 9.60 jailbreak soon is extremely low. People on these firmwares should expect to wait multiple months or just buy a second-hand PS4 on 9.0 firmware. Alright, so how do we summarize all this? First, let me just emphasize the patience, because you can never have a jailbroken PS4 if you keep your PS4 updated all the time. And like what the author said, there is usually a 9 months by average between the two jailbreak releases. So it goes as low as 4 months, or as early as 4 months, and as late as 2 years. here are the things that you can do to avoid updating your console or your PS4. First, you should disable all the automatic updates. You can find them on the system, on the settings, then system, then automatic updates. Make sure that everything is unchecked, and also use the DNS that blocks all updates from Sony. Then just follow the website that we are going to share on the description, and patiently wait for an update for the PS4 jailbreak, or just subscribe to our channel and we will definitely provide you all of the fresh updates from PS4 jailbreak. Next, if you want, or if you just want to get your hands on a fresh PS4 or in a new PS4, then it is easier to get a jailbroken or at least a jailbreakable PS4 if you are just going to get a used one. All new PS4 is updated on a later firmware. So just get a used one if you want to have a shot for a jailbroken PS4. And up to this point, it is fairly easy to get a used PS4 on a jailbreakable firmware. Then again, let's go back to the first rule. Have a lot of patience in case you are still waiting and hoping to get your PS4 jailbroken, because there is no other way if you are on a higher firmware than just wait for a jailbreak that will be released on your current firmware. And in case you are really tired of waiting, there's still a lot of ways for you to enjoy an updated PS4. And to be honest, I play my updated PS4 like 80% more than I play my jailbroken PS4. Jailbreak is not the only way if you want to get a cheap game, especially now when Sony is really competing head-to-head against Xbox Game Pass. We can definitely expect more or a better services from the PSN. And of course, the online services is I think is just as important as getting a jailbroken PS4, because even just one game can last up to a few months or a year with a good online community or online gameplay. So this will be it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will make sure I will deliver all of these fresh updates from all of our authentic sources. And in case you found this video helpful, please do leave me a thumbs up, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.